Hey there, mama friend, and welcome to the 5-Minute Mom podcast, where we'll talk about real life, real faith, real fast. For today's show notes or to get free Monday Mom devotionals, visit audrahaney.com. Well, hey friends, welcome back to the podcast and our foster care discussion. This has been awesome. It's really been good for me, honestly, to unpack some of my own emotions and thoughts and feelings about what we've walked through in the last couple of years. There's honestly so much to say on this. I feel like I could fill up a book. So if you have another burning question or on your heart or your mind, please don't hesitate to reach out through email or DMs. It may take a few days for me to respond, but it's really me on the other end, and I truly want to be here to help you, to pray for you, or answer any questions. So today I want to answer the question, do you have any practical advice for us as we start our foster care journey? And I wanted to tackle this question because there are a lot of logistics to foster care and a lot of emotional baggage as well. So there's really 3 specific things I feel like you need to focus on as you prepare. First, and probably the most important, is you need to get a very specific and curated support group. So foster care comes with a high emotional demand and a high logistical demand. So in this curated group, there's a few people I feel like you need to reach out to. If you have other children in your home, you need to get a game plan for that. For example, when classes were in person before COVID, childcare was not provided. So we had to get help for those weekly classes. And even if you take those virtually and it's not bedtime hours, you may want to have a plan for childcare just so you can limit distractions. And there's appointments, visitations, court dates, family team meetings, especially in the first month. So you need someone who can jump in at a moment's notice and help you juggle all of that. When we got our placement at 11 p.m., we had an hour's notice, and we had friends that ran to the store and dropped off age-appropriate clothes on our doorstep before the caseworker even arrived. So you're going to need logistical support, and I'd say it would help to kind of predetermine who those people could be for you and invite them into the process from the very beginning. You also need spiritual and emotional support, and I found that the best people for this are people who have walked ahead of you in foster care. And if you don't have anyone like that, there are local support groups that meet monthly, some weekly, and it's a huge help. And if you need help finding one of those in your area, I would start with maybe foster or adoptive agencies. They have great resources and recommendations if you need them. And sometimes you just need people who can pray and listen that have had skin in the game before, that can give you advice from a place of I've been there, or encouragement from a place of I've walked through that, and just really be able to sit with you in it. And there's definitely people who haven't fostered and adopted that can be there for you. I would choose friends that are good listeners and just be willing to hold your hand and let you cry on their shoulder. The second piece of advice that I would give you is just to clear your calendar for the first month, whatever that looks like for you. It is really a whirlwind of not only adjusting to having a new child in your home, but also, like I said earlier, there's a lot of appointments involved, really the whole way through, but especially for the first month. So if you own a business or you work outside the home, even if you're a stay-at-home mom, I'd get a game plan in place for how you can maybe simplify or shift your schedule to accommodate for this life-changing adjustment. It really took me by surprise, so I don't want you to be blindsided by the obligations. And third, if you're married, I would suggest regular marriage counseling. My husband and I, we have a very strong relationship. We have a strong marriage and we're best friends. But I wish, looking back, we would have been more consistent with marriage counseling. The time that we went, it was so helpful. Because foster care comes with a lot of obligations, a lot of logistical stress, but also comes with a lot of grief and uncertainty and high stress situations. So I don't know about you and your husband, but my husband and I, we process those things as polar opposites. So counseling just allowed us to create space to listen, to understand where we were coming from, and to find some solutions that really helped us move forward hand in hand and not in hand-to-hand combat. So, I feel like it can sometimes feel like another thing to put on the calendar, especially when you're really busy, but I do think it will make everything else on your calendar more joyful and more united. So it is a worthy investment of time and money. If you feel like it's hard financially, maybe check with foster care agencies or your church and see if there's a way to get help with that. So those are kind of the first 3 places I would start as you're preparing. And I know the rest of it you can probably take in stride, but I think having that support system, having your calendar clear for the first month and really investing in your marriage is going to give you a strong start, and you can take the other things as they come. But we'll be back next week with our last question, which is a really great question. It's, I don't feel called to foster, but how can I support my friends who are fostering? I love the heart behind that. So we'll do a deep dive into that next week. But I hope you guys have a great week, and I will be with you next Monday. So that's the end of our 5 minutes. Please tune in again soon. If you want to learn more about me or sign up for the podcast newsletter or get a free devotional, visit audrahaney.com. And if you enjoyed this, would you please leave a quick review? Reviews are so important for podcasters, and it helps more moms find us, and it would be a great blessing.